my favourite people, and welcome back again to the Dreamy Storytellers. This is a story about a little boy called Ming and a magical wishing tree, and how he grows up with the tree. And you'll find out how as I read to you The Wishing Tree by Roseanne, Thong. An enormous banyan tree with thick leafy branches grew in the center of a village near an ancient temple in a green valley with a gurgling stream. The tree had been there for as long as Ming's grandmother could remember, and it was certainly longer than that. Winter, spring, summer and fall, it was covered with thousands of wishes. Each wish was written on a brightly coloured paper, tied on with string, and weighted with a large mandarin orange. People came from near and far to toss their requests and desires into its sturdy branches. When Ming was 5 years old, Grandmother took him to make his first wish. It was Lunar New Year, and the tree's enormous canopy of leaves glistened with red and gold. Ming was spellbound by the sight. This tree is generous with its magic, Grandmother explained. Villagers say that long ago it helped a boy make incredible improvements in his studies. They also say it led a rich stranger to the village who paid for the temple's construction. Ming was filled with excitement and couldn't wait to make a wish. There were many vendors selling paper and string, but Grandmother led him to a cheerful moon-faced woman whom she knew well. "This is my grandson," she said. "He has come to make his first wish." Smiling, the vendor pulled out a crisp bundle of paper and handed it to Ming. "Wish carefully," Grandmother advised, "but remember that even wishing trees have their limitations." After Ming finished writing, Grandmother showed him how to roll up his wish like a scroll and hurl it skywards into the tree's outstretched arms. The first time Ming didn't throw his bundle hard enough, and it fell back down to earth with a heavy thud. He tried 5 more times before he was successful. After all, it was a huge tree, and he was just a small boy. Ming's wish was to be tall and strong like his older brother. All year long, he thought about the wish and anxiously waited to see if it would be granted. Sure enough, by the following year, he had grown a foot taller and was strong enough to help move the heavy chairs in his parents' restaurant. Convinced of the tree's magic, the next year, Ming wished for something exciting to happen in the village. A few months later, a movie crew came to make a kung fu film. The movie starred several famous actors, and Ming and his friends were allowed to watch them perform. Even better, they got to collect the actors' autographs. As the years passed, Ming came to depend on the tree It was like a member of his family who always helped him out. One year, Ming faced a difficult problem. A boy from another village moved to his school and began bullying him. The new boy was taller and stronger than anyone else. Although Ming tried to stay away, the bully followed him home and demanded money and sweets. Ming's wish that year was to be able to get rid of the new bully forever. To his surprise, Ming's father bought a new restaurant in the city, and a few months later, the family moved away from the village. Although their new home was far away from the wishing tree, Ming and grandmother still went to visit each year. They would board a bus early in the morning and carry a picnic lunch to eat under the tree's wide, leafy branches. All afternoon, they would watch the other wish makers toss their requests skyward and would stay until the last rays of light faded from behind the temple eaves. When Ming was 9, grandmother became very sick and could no longer get out of bed. Ming visited the wishing tree alone that year and asked to cure grandmother's illness. He wrote his request on the shiniest red paper he could find and used the most polite and sincere language he knew. When he threw the wish into the air, it immediately caught hold on a strong, thick branch where the wind could not blow it off. Ming thought this was a good sign and went home with a smile on his face. After all, the tree had always granted his wishes before. But this time, the magic didn't work. Grandmother passed away soon afterwards, and Ming felt sad and bitter. He missed grandmother's gentle laugh and the stories she shared with him. He also felt betrayed by the tree. He had visited it so many times. How could it have let it down? Ming swore that he would never return to the wishing tree ever again. Several years passed, and Ming forced the tree out of his mind. Then, one Lunar New Year, an old schoolmate named Thong invited him back to the village for a class reunion. Ming's thoughts flooded with sad memories. Still, his friends wanted him to join them, so he agreed. As soon as Ming got off the bus, he realized how much he missed the peaceful green valley where he had grown up. On the way to Thong's house, he stopped by the ancient temple and leapt across the gurgling stream where he had played as a child. After a delicious lunch with his friends, the boys walked over to the wishing tree. It was more beautiful than Ming had remembered it. While the other boys made wishes, Ming and Thong took a seat and chatted about old times. But when the sky turned orange and the sun slipped behind the mountain's hunchbacked slopes, a tear slipped down Ming's cheek. He told Thong how much he missed his grandmother and how they used to make wishes together. What did she wish for last time you were here? Asked Thong. Grandmother always wished for the same thing, Ming said, for my happiness. And are you happy? Asked Thong. Ming thought about this question for a long time. He liked his new school and he had made many new friends. He was taking kung fu lessons and was one of the best in his class. In fact, he had just won first place at a local competition. His trophy was shiny and golden. He smiled whenever he saw it on his shelf. Ming realized that the wishing tree had granted his grandmother's last wish. Suddenly, his anger left and he forgave the tree the way one forgives a good friend after an argument. Ming ran over to a familiar vendor who was just packing up her wares for the night. Please sell me a piece of paper, he begged. I won't have another chance to make another wish until next year. At first, the vendor said no, but then she recognized Ming as the boy she knew many years before. She smiled, unpacked her nearly empty box, and took out her last piece of wrinkled red wishing paper. Ming scribbled down his message as quickly as he could and tossed it high into the branches. He concentrated hard and mumbled several words as he threw. He was taller now, and his wish lodged snugly on a large branch on his first try. What did you wish for? Asked Thong. Not for a single thing, Ming replied. Thong looked puzzled. He had clearly seen Ming write something down on the paper just minutes before. Then Ming explained. In all the years that I've come to the tree, I've never shown my appreciation. This time, I didn't ask for anything. I said thank you instead. How about tomorrow you say thank you to someone who you haven't said thank you to in a long time. Tell them how you appreciate them. Good night. Bye-bye.